On a cold night in 1962, three men vanished from the most secure prison in America, Alcatraz. They did not break the bars or fight the guards. Instead, they fooled everyone completely. When guards checked their cells that night, everything looked normal, like every other quiet night, inside the prison. Three men were sleeping peacefully in their beds, or at least that is what the guards believed, but by morning they were gone without any trace, and something about it felt completely impossible. Each bed still had what looked like a human head resting on the pillow, but those heads were fake, made from soap, toilet paper, and real human hair. This is the true story of the only men who may have escaped Alcatraz, the prison no one escaped. The man behind it all was Frank Morris, not the strongest prisoner, but easily the smartest. His IQ was said to be over 130, and inside Alcatraz, intelligence was the only real weapon. The prison sat on an island surrounded by freezing water, strong currents, and almost no chance of survival. No one had ever escaped and lived to tell the story, at least officially. But Frank Morris did not believe that, and he decided to prove it. He teamed up with two brothers, John and Clarence Anglin, and together they began planning the impossible. This was not a fast escape. It was a slow and patient operation that took many months. Every night, while the prison slept, they worked quietly in complete silence inside their cells. Using stolen spoons and simple homemade tools, they slowly chipped away at the walls. Behind the walls, they discovered a hidden space that guards could not see or access. Little by little, night after night, they expanded the holes until they were large enough. Then came the most unbelievable part of the entire plan. They needed the guards to believe they were still sleeping inside their beds, so they created fake heads using soap, paper, and real human hair collected secretly. They painted them carefully, shaping faces that looked disturbingly real in the dark. Even guards doing quick night checks could not tell the difference, but escaping the cells was only half of the problem they had to solve. They still needed a way to escape the island surrounded by deadly freezing water. So they built a raft made entirely from stolen raincoats, stitched together carefully. They sealed it tightly, creating something that might actually float in those brutal conditions. Everything was finally ready for the escape they had planned for months. On June 11, 1962, the plan was put into action. One by one, they climbed out of their cells through the holes in the walls. They moved through hidden spaces, climbed up to the roof, and disappeared into the darkness. Behind them, their fake heads remained in the beds, fooling everyone for hours. By the time guards realized something was wrong, it was already too late. The three men had completely vanished from the most secure prison in America. Search teams rushed into action, scanning the freezing water in the surrounding area. Boats searched the ocean while helicopters looked from above, but found nothing. No bodies were ever discovered, and no raft was ever recovered. Officially, the FBI said the men must have drowned in the freezing water that night. The conditions were too harsh, the currents too strong, and survival seemed impossible. But there was one problem with that explanation. No evidence was ever found to prove they had died. Years later, strange things began to appear that made people question everything. A letter arrived claiming one of the men had survived and was still alive. There were also reports of possible sightings in different parts of the world, even a photograph that some believe shows the brothers alive many years later. But none of it was ever fully confirmed or proven true. To this day, no one knows what really happened after that night. Did they die in the freezing ocean, just as officials believed, or did they pull off the greatest prison escape in history and disappear forever? Three men, one impossible prison, and a plan built from silence and patience. And even now, decades later, the mystery of Alcatraz remains unsolved.